Dave Ehrenberg testified on Bondi's behalf earlier today on Capitol Hill. He worked with her in Florida. He is also a former state attorney for Palm Beach County and a Democrat, and he joins me from Washington. Always good to see you, Dave. You know Pam Bondi. You worked with her. You support her. For Democrats who say those kinds of answers make them nervous about what kind of attorney general she would be, what do you say?
Chris, good to be with you. Yeah, Sally Yates, Doug Jones, they're not walking through the door. Pam Bondi's going to be the best person that Democrats could ask for Donald Trump to appoint to be attorney general. She's way better than Matt Gaetz. She is tethered to the law. And as far as election denialism, yes, when she was an attorney for Donald Trump, she was acting as an advocate. She talked about it yesterday, but she didn't go as far as others. She wasn't spreading lies like Rudy Giuliani and defamation actions. She has taken a step back from it. She says she accepts the election results. And Donald Trump was never going to appoint someone to be attorney general who was going to contradict him on his election fraud lies. The election was fair, it was secure, it was safe, and it's legitimate. And I don't think Pam Bondi, though, will do anything to knowingly violate the law, even if Donald Trump asks her to do so.
Well, let me play a little more of what Pam Bondi had to say when she was pressed on whether she would go after Trump's political adversaries.
The president has said Jack Smith should go to jail. Will you investigate Jack Smith?
Senator, I haven't seen the file. I haven't seen the investigation. I haven't looked at anything. It would be irresponsible of me to make a commitment regarding anything.
The president also wants to jail Liz Cheney. Sitting here today, are you aware of any factual basis to investigate Liz Cheney? Yes or no?
Senator, that's a hypothetical, and I'm not going to answer that question.
No, it's not hypothetical. I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one has asked me
to
investigate Liz Cheney. That is a hypothetical.
The president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate.
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called,
also worried about Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
President has
you know what
called
we
for
should
this.
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi, please answer my questions.
California right now
you are
is
aware,
through the roof.
So that obviously wasn't the response Congressman Schiff was looking for. But do you think it was appropriate? I mean, it does seem, Dave, to be honest, that the stock answer for many of Trump's nominees is that's a hypothetical. But if you want to know how someone would act, if you're going to support them, isn't every question to at least some extent hypothetical?
Sure. But this is a game that all nominees have played on both sides of the aisle. It's this, we don't want to say too much. It would jeopardize the nomination. So you say, I'm not going to talk about hypotheticals. I can only talk about my experience with Pam Bondi. You know, Chris, I ran against her in 2010 for attorney general. I lost. She won. She then hired me as her drug czar. So she has a history of working across party lines. That's why I was there today to talk about my experience with her. She's not a big partisan. Running for attorney general was her first ever race she ever ran for. And she got a lot of grief for bringing on a Democrat. So I just say that, you know, Democrats, we should pick our battles. I think that Tulsi Gabbard is a clear and present danger to American national security. Pam Bondi is not. I think she's as good as we can ask for in this role as Attorney General.
Well, I wonder in that realm, your own personal experience showing she's willing to reach across the aisle. And we know there's an exhausted public who's asking for more bipartisanship. Do you sense that Democrats are moving beyond the anguish of the election results to the realization that there may be a chance to build bridges to the other party? Is it a Pam Bondi who can help make that happen?
I hope so. I think she's going to focus on things that are going to get bipartisan support, like stopping the flow of fentanyl, the real killer, the number one killer within the opioid epidemic. I think she'll go after some of the blatant anti-Semitism that you see growing across our country using federal resources. So I think there are things we can all agree on, like human trafficking, to be able to get tough on human trafficking at the same time have a kinder touch when it comes to the victims who need to stay in this country through T visas. And so I think she's going to be on the right side of a lot of these issues. Where it gets controversial, Chris, is when it comes to when Donald Trump inevitably asked her to do something improper. And although I do think she's going to investigate the investigators like John Durham did under Bill Barr's leadership, we've seen this before. It blew up in their face. I think even though she'll do that, I don't think she'll walk out Anthony Fauci or Liz Cheney or Adam Schiff in handcuffs. That's not who she is. She's a career prosecutor, not a political hack.
Is she the person who will say no to Donald Trump if that's what's needed?
I think she will, and I think she has credibility with Trump because she's in his inner circle, unlike Jeff Sessions, unlike Bill Barr. I think when she pushes back against Donald Trump, I think that he'll respect it because he trusts her. He knows that the two of them are close. She is loyal to him, which gives her extra credibility to say no. And I think as a prosecutor, she doesn't get immunity like Donald Trump does. A Supreme Court decision doesn't protect anyone but the president. So she's the one who could face jail time in the future, like Mike Nifong, the Duke lacrosse prosecutor. So it means a lot to her to keep her reputation intact as well as her future freedom. So I think ultimately she'll do the right thing.
Dave Ehrenberg, thanks so much. It's good to see you.